Bees Golf Studio presents Tip It Out Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon, Blake, and Noah.
All right, guys, welcome to Tip It Out Podcast, first episode here. I'm Brendan alongside Blake and Noah. Guys, how we feeling? First podcast.
Feeling good. Let's get after it.
It's pretty anxious. Let's get going.
All right. So as we're filming this, Sentry's just wrapped up. So let's go ahead and let's go into why we want to do this podcast. What we do in our golf life and how we feel we can give back to that, and kind of what we want to talk about and all that. So Blake, if you want to go ahead first. What got you into golf?
I don't know. So what got me into golf?
Yeah.
I mean, just young age. I mean, it was always something like living in a small town. All there was a 9-hole course. And that was kind of something that my dad would go and do all the time. And so it was something that I always looked up to. And small kids, we'd go to the driving range there. That's driving range or the water park. And that was about it. So something I just kind of got addicted to after I stopped playing baseball.
Nice. What's your fondest memory on a golf course?
So it was again back when I was really, really young. It was one of those, dad was just playing with some buddies and I was just kind of in the cart. I remember one of the guys, he wore flip-flops all the time. I don't know why, it just stuck in my brain, but it's something. We were on hole 7, and I mean, they let me hit the ball a couple times, and so we finally get up on the green. Well, I hit the ball up onto the green. I was on the green, and it was front left pin, and my ball was back right, and I just whacked this putt, and it just dove into the hole, and everyone all these older guys are kind of looking at me and they're just holy he just did that, and so it's kind of just cool. Kind of stuck with me and kind of gave me that adrenaline as a young kid to just seek that, I suppose. So that's a memory that I've always had.
Nice. What do you want to get? What do you want to talk about in this podcast? Why do you want to do a podcast? What's intrigued you about these?
It's just, I listen to podcasts rather than music. It's something that I've always thought would be fun. Just kind of the banter with the boys.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time anyway. We might as well record ourselves.
Might as well, just the banter. So no, that's really it. I don't really have any reason of why I want to do it, just for the fun.
Yeah. Noah, you got anything? Ask Blake. No.
You pretty much answered it all right there. That's
pretty all right. What do you got? What got you into golf? What keeps you around? Favorite memories, whatever. Just tell us.
Yeah, so I was kind of the same as Blake. Didn't golf a whole ton growing up, but with my dad, kind of got into it. When I stopped playing baseball like him, kind of picked up golf, joined the golf team in high school, and then, as they say, you just kind of get addicted to it. That was kind of how I am. But and then got so addicted to it that I made it my kind of life. So. I work in golf now, so that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm second assistant at a country club right now, so ready to go.
Yeah, so obviously we haven't really had any of these yet, so nobody really knows us yet. But so Noah is a PGA pro, and you're in North Carolina right now, or? Yeah,
I'll be. I'm basically starting here soon, so.
Nice, and it's out Mountain Air there, right?
Yeah, Mountain Air Country Club. It's about 30 minutes north of Asheville, North Carolina, if anybody knows where that's at. But up in the mountains, it's a nice place. So
nice. So what's it about Mountain Air that you like so much? That because you did 2 internships there?
Yeah, I did 2 there, and then another one a couple hours away at another club. But the reason I love it down there really is just the mountains kind of captivate you. kind of one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. But and then just golf in general, meeting new people, especially all the members. It's kind of what I love about the private club industry is getting to travel, meet new people from kind of all over the country is really why I do it. But that's
So who's your favorite person, whether it's like someone crazy celeb or someone that's just a nobody out at Mountain Air, but who's your favorite person out there?
My favorite person is probably Jim McQueen. Is who I would say. He actually was a PGA pro himself, but his family built the course, and his family, well, his wife's family actually, but he was pretty successful. So he's a member at the club now, but he was the first pro there and built it from the start. So he has a lot of cool stories. Great guy, loves to play golf. So have a lot of good memories with him.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and you guys can ask whatever questions you guys want to ask. But so yeah, I grew up kind of same as you guys. Played golf with my dad. Those were some of the earliest memories I have. I mean, from since I was little. Golf club in my hand. Didn't really start playing competitively until, I mean, like you guys, after I started playing baseball, it turned into getting in golf competitively. And baseball was, for me, it was only up till 6th grade. So it was never really anything crazy, but it took up my time for golf. So yeah, competitively didn't really start playing until 7th, 8th grade. And was working at a golf course and decided, through the assistant pro at that golf course that going to University of Nebraska for the PGM program, which is actually where Noah obviously went to. So that's how we met. Blake, for everybody else, is my brother-in-law. I'm married to his sister. So that's kind of how we all kind of know each other through that circle. I guess, yeah. I just really, really love golf. And I think my favorite part now as a PGA professional is being able to help people out. I really like helping out the beginner golfers, the ones that just want to get better and enjoy the game. Sometimes dealing with, advanced golfers that can be a little critical of themselves and you, and they kind of make it difficult. So I think that's kind of what I ultimately want to get out of this. It's just being able to reach, even if it's 1 or 2 people, try to get them a little bit better at their golf game or just, help them out a little bit. You guys got anything?
No.
Covered it pretty good. I would go.
I guess Brendan, since you kind of asked us all the questions about like what was it that got us into it, what is like your fondest memory? What's your favorite place you've been? Like maybe for you, out of a dialed back answer from all of us, what is more of like what is your favorite thing? Like was it traveling for internships? Was it meeting the people? Is there a certain individual that just kind of really pushed you to really want to keep pursuing this type career? Is it like just a golf shot or a golf memory that you have that's really just made you want to have a career around it?
Yeah, I mean, being honest, like it was just something I was good at and I enjoyed, and I enjoyed hanging out with my dad. So I don't really have like a fondest memory that like sticks to me. But as far as like all I know, I just wanted to be around golf when I was probably like 3, 4. I don't even remember how old I was. And I hardly remember this, but people tell me about it all the time. Well, my dad plays in this money group out at the club, and he's been playing it for 20 some years. And I used to go around maybe around 4 or 5. And there was this older gentleman that sometimes, I don't know if he played in the group or not, but he would just drive around and follow him. And I would just ride in the golf cart with him. And I guess I'd fall asleep on his lap, like just passed out on the golf cart seat from watching like my dad. And
that boring.
But yeah. I was so excited I fell asleep. But yeah, I always wanted to be around it. But yeah, I mean, meeting the people is awesome. I've met a lot of great people. A lot of good pros. I had a mentor a little bit growing up, a PGA pro here in Hutch. His name was Matt Seitz. He still plays a lot of golf. He actually has played in like a couple U.S. Senior Opens and stuff like that. So he's been a really good golfer. I think he played in the Nebraska Open last year and shot like, I think he barely missed the cut or something, but still can get out there. And he's probably 60,
Oh, dang.
60
Yeah.
something, over 60. But he's no Jim White out there, however old Jim White is, and shooting 62 from the same tees I'm playing from. But yeah, so. All right, well, moving on. So we have our little headlines here underneath our names, and I know we're going to get to mine and we're going to get to Noah's a little bit, but Blake, why don't you kind of talk about why your headline is what it is?
Yeah, so Brennan and I know is not in it yet anyways. We're in like a big group message type slate thing where we have 8 games that the winner. So say Brendan won yesterday, he's picking tomorrow's slate of games, and it's 8 games, and it's like he's like today's slate, just for the example, I guess I can scroll up and find it, was in the NFL is Panthers against the Bucks. The Bucks were 4 points favorites, so you pick out of the one or the other. And then there's 7 more games that are like that, and a tiebreaker and a lock. Well, we've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and I've gotten second numerous times, but haven't yet won it. Brendan's won it a couple times. Well, then today I was like, I'm not going to do it. And a buddy of ours is like, oh, just do it. Like, just.
You were on your way to church, weren't you?
Yeah, I was going to church. He's like, just pick. And so I just told my wife to pick names out of this. And I got one more game. And if the Dolphins cover the Bills, I end up winning. So, or she wins, whatever, however we want to phrase it. But yeah, so definitely better than me if she gets a dub and she goes 1-0 to my 0-14 or whatever it is.
Well, what's funny is that Alex, who's in the group, that was what, a couple days ago, like maybe last Thursday or Friday, he was doing so poorly, like, I mean, bad. Like we pick 8 and he's getting 3 or 4 is his best.
He's getting 3 or 4.
I mean, just so bad. It is pitiful. And basically, he let his fiance pick his, and that night he won. So if Blake ends up winning, then we will be 2 for 2 on the spouses picking the games. And then everybody's going to start trying.
Yeah.
It's funny because these guys have done so poorly that they're going to end up.
I just need something. So we need to get Noah on this trend too, but we'll see what happens.
Sentry Tournament of Champions just finished a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So first off, congratulations to Chris Kirk, winning the first one of the year, top of the FedEx Cup already. Win number 6 for him. He actually won last year for his first time since 2014-15 season, I think is what it was. It went 67 on round 1, 65 round 2, 66 round 3, and then finishes up with a 65 today.
Yeah,
and that's on a par 73 course. So 1 bogey all week out of the 72 holes he's played. So 1 bogey, 30 birdies. I mean, it's a gettable course, but that's still lighting it up. So what was your guys's? Well, here, before we get to that, I got to show this. So, and I think this will touch on Noah's, but can we just talk about what we saw at the Sentry? So can you guys see that? So what are we feeling about? Obviously, you got Jason Day's pants, Noah. So talk a little bit about how you feel about Jason Day's pants.
I'm intrigued, to be honest. I think is the right word. Because he is throwing together a whole boatload of things right there. And the part I'm most intrigued about is all the drama surrounding Nike, I guess, is the real thing. You have Jason Day coming out and saying that, and then you have, for a year or so, been all about, especially ramping up lately, all about Tiger and
Well,
kind of how he might leave Nike. And then you have other people leaving their apparel as well. But no, I think it's cool to see him kind of take on just like this apparel company that you don't see out there. I mean, I think he's the first one really on the PGA Tour to sign with Malbon Golf.
Yeah.
And he played pretty well this week, so maybe it's working.
yeah. I mean,
But no,
the question
I
is,
like him for a day or two.
okay, so the question is baggy back? Are we rocking with the baggy pants? Or
I mean,
are we
I don't like it with the color, honestly.
Whatever helps Tiger
You don't
win.
like it?
I mean,
I don't like the color.
I think
the color combo is kind of weird because it's like a navy and then like a lighter navy / blue with the rest of it.
Yeah, and then like just the shoes don't match either.
The shoes match the shirt, but he needs a different color of pants.
And the hats, it looks like a different color too.
It's pretty cool. I think
it's got to be
close to the shirt.
Are we fine with baggy though? Do we like the baggy look?
All I'm saying is Tiger won so many tournaments in baggy clothes. So whatever helps him win, I'm all for it.
There was no choice back then.
Exactly, but I'm just saying. Maybe he's more comfortable. But I mean,
wait till we get an Eric Van Rooyen set up with Jason Day. So we got Eric, however tall he is, with his joggers, and then we got Jason Day out there with his baggy pants.
We need that. We need that pairing bad here soon. But.
Are there the sad part is, like, we haven't even got to Terrell yet, but can we talk about how, like, these guys aren't dressing themselves? Like, somebody is getting paid to dress these guys.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true because what's his name?
Well, don't they give options that they can wear throughout? They can pick which day they wear it. Or
yeah, they recommend you to wear.
They give them the pieces.
They recommend you wear what they want you to wear, but Tony, he says that he'll only wear like certain things, and that's why. I mean, maybe that's why his stuff isn't all that great either. But like he ran wearing things,
some fun stuff at the Masters.
He's particular about his belts. He's particular about his shoes, and like he will only wear certain hats. But he gets randomness all the time. So,
but yeah, just like Terrell here, like it's not a very good picture. I should have found a better picture, but a lot of them wore that hat this week.
The hat's
that like Hawaiian hat. Yeah, and it's like, did he walk out? Like, I don't know if Terrell's married or not, but
yeah, he is.
Somebody had to see him walk. Somebody had to see him walk out of the house.
But it's in Hawaii. It's in Hawaii, so it's gonna be that. I mean,
I like the hat. I'm just saying, like, why? Like, what's the combo we're working with, right? Like, look at that shirt. I mean, that shirt.
You got to go the solid color
with that hat. Yeah, it's just.
You got to go the solid color.
I don't know,
but
I
don't know.
Nonetheless,
like I said, I'm just more concerned about the Nike thing than anything else. People are starting to say that they don't want to walk to the first tee and look exactly like 5 or 6 other golfers that are Nike teams.
Yeah, and I like Malbon. I think it's a good company.
Yeah,
I've wanted some of their stuff. I like their stuff, but that when I first saw that with Jason Day, I was like, I don't know, man. What are we doing here? And then, I kind of like the baggy. I wouldn't rock the baggy. Like that picture of Jason right there. It's not
for Jason it works, especially because he's kind of older, and he just. I mean, the rope hat honestly looks worse on him than other people.
I think I like the look of the rope hat, the shirt there. I think it looks kind of cool.
I do like the rope hat. I like the rope hat a lot.
See, I like rope hats in general, but all the pictures
maybe Jason Day's lost a lot of weight. Maybe he's lost a lot of weight, but he looks skinny in that picture. And maybe it's the oversized clothes. I don't know. But all right. So, what'd you guys notice this week? Like, what'd you see at the tournament? What first reactions?
Well, so my first thing is like looking at the price and everything and the payouts. JT Poston had a ball that he hit that bounced into the cup and bounced out, that if it just stays in the cup, he makes $300,000 more, which is absolutely insane. It was in the hole.
Was that today?
It was either today or yesterday. Yeah,
It was today.
Because I didn't see the video, but my dad mentioned it to me.
That's $300,000 difference. And I know
what did he walk away with?
I mean, basically 700, but
I don't think he's worried. Well, I mean, he is obviously, but like
it's gonna help regardless how much money you have. That's gonna help a little bit.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Elon or whatever.
But I don't know. My biggest takeaway was, well, first of all, like you said, congrats to Chris Kirk because I mean, Scotty Scheffler's leading that tournament after 2 rounds, and he's the consensus #1 player in the world. And you just bully him on the weekend. But my #1 takeaway is Jordan Spieth because he continues to play well, but he continues to make playing well look terrible because you got some of these guys coming out here and just throwing darts, like making it look pretty, and then you got Jordan Spieth, and you're like, well, what the hell is he doing? And then he just makes 10 birdies and shoots.
Well, the crazy thing
and you're like,
is
how did he do that?
He was bogey free in round 2 and 3. He was bogey free. He shot 67s. He took a double in round 1 and had a couple bogeys in round 4, and he shot 66, 65 to there. So in other words, he needs the bogey in order to go deep.
That bogey on, was it 16 today? That put him from 27 under to 26 under.
That was huge.
2 back.
A chance to win that tournament coming into that hole.
Yeah, he got a little unlucky break. I don't know if you guys saw it. It went into the bunker, I believe.
Yeah,
kind of the lip of the bunker, and he had to play it out. He had to play it out left, and he threw a wedge up there. I mean, 8 feet, and just couldn't find the hole. And 17, I mean, it's not an easy hole. I mean, there were some birdies on it, but you're not expecting to get it back on 17. And even if you were to obviously make eagle there on that last 18, he had a really good look, but I mean, it wasn't enough with Chris Kirk still having 18 to play. So let me ask you guys this: do you like seeing 29 under win a golf tournament?
It's not my favorite thing.
Or does it depend on the tournament?
I'm in the camp where, I mean, especially when you have that level of a field. I mean, you're calling it the Tournament of Champions, and you have most of the top players in the world with a no-cut event, and you got 29 under winning it. That doesn't make sense to me. But I'm in the camp where, like, the U.S. Open.
You say that doesn't make sense?
No, like, I think that's stupid. Like, I enjoy seeing them play well, but I like when you have to be perfect in your golf shot. Like the
but
US
I mean,
Open. But
I mean, one bogey is pretty close to perfect.
As long as it's not a major, I'm not too picky about it. I hate seeing super deep scores in majors, but like, I don't know. You see a 63 in a major, I want that to be like unheard of. That's absolutely insane. But in the same sense, I want to see that person shoot a 77 in the 70s the next day. Like, where, I mean, who was it? Sung J M. I mean, he was T5 at 25 under and shot a 73 in round 3. That's disgusting.
Yeah, until you get all the other rounds.
He broke like a birdie record this week. Sung J did.
Did he?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the record was, but no, that was. I like seeing them in a major all race out, to 4, 5, 6 under, and then by the end of the week they're all right around even par. Like, I like to see him come back and struggle.
Yeah.
And where if you don't make a good swing, you're screwed. But
yeah, I mean, for me, in the majors, you got the U.S. Open and the Open Championship are probably the two that I want to see him really struggle. I mean, I don't want to make it impossible, but I want to see him struggle a lot more than they normally would. Masters, lately the Masters have been a little bit kind of high as far as low scores. And I'm fine with that. The only thing I don't like about when they have stuff like this is Chris Kirk has a 1-shot lead going into 18. and you know there's no chance of a bogey.
No.
That's what I don't like. It takes away the ending because you know this guy's not making. I mean, he made one bogey all week. Like he's not gonna make bogey on the last there.
I would say
it kind of sucks to see that.
I would say on the opposite side of that, if you do have a close battle down the stretch, I mean that's a hole where like you can make eagle on pretty easily. So like on the other side of that, there's some fireworks waiting to happen if you're down one and you make eagle and the other guy makes birdie to like tie him or something like that. But no, I feel the same.
Yeah, but I mean going in with a 1-shot lead and no pressure, like everybody's finished. I mean, 5, you're not making more than 5 out there, you know. But what do you guys notice about the course wise? I know the fucking course was the hard fairways. They had a timer from like moment of point of contact, and they had a timer go until it stopped.
Oh, I didn't see that. I mean, I only saw highlights. I didn't watch. I didn't really watch much of it. I just saw highlights. Trying to keep up with that, but
the balls were rolling. I mean, shit. I think there was one I saw 45 seconds roughly is what it was like on hole 18. And I mean, these guys were hitting over $400 yards like it was nothing. Like, I mean, you don't see that. Like, did you guys see Max Homa today?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like onto my thing is Max Homa goes out and hits a 477-yard drive.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I mean, I played that course. I played that 8 years ago now, and I wasn't hitting 400-yard drives. But I tell you what, that is the weirdest golf course I've ever played. Is what they don't tell you, because I mean, obviously you don't really know, but there's a volcano, another island past the ocean, and everything slopes to that volcano. So it's wild. I can look at the green, and you know, if we're here in, you know, Nebraska or Kansas in the Midwest, and I see an uphill putt, and the ground's literally going like this, and I'm putting, you know, up here, then it's 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, it's an uphill putt. Well, out there, it can look uphill, and you're actually downhill because of the way it goes towards the volcano. There was one that on 18, so I hit a decent drive. I thought I just hit this so far right. And I kind of got the speed slope a little bit and ended up down there. And I couldn't remember if I went for it or not, but I ended up like 50 yards to the right, kind of where everybody was bailing out. And I remember chunking my wedge shot and it landing like a yard short of the green. And I kind of like got pissed a little bit, but then I remembered that the volcano was behind the pin, and it rolled up there to like a foot. Rolled out like 20 yards. So
no way.
You don't see that. There was one, and we thought we were attacking this course. Like hole 10 is what we had to start on, and it was just me and my dad. We both threw up to 3 feet to start the day, make birdie on 10, and then it goes downhill from there. But like hole 13, there was one. My dad had like a 8-foot like par putt, and he was putting towards the volcano, and he barely taps his thing, and it goes into the bunker past the pin. And then he hits it up there, and it looks like it's just going to roll out, and it just stops. I mean, it's different golf, and those guys are used to it, but it's just so weird to be like, this is an uphill putt. It's actually down. But back to Max Homa. So this is kind of like my headline here. So I put, can we not afford another camera? So this guy hits a 477-yard drive. And in the technology era that we're in, you know, we think we would have a video of it. Nobody has a video of this drive. We can't find it anywhere. There's just a little PGA Tour app. It tells you that it went 477 yards. That's all I know. It was on a 525-yard par 4.
You know what this goes back to, and like I don't really want to get into this now because I can talk like forever about this. but the fact that Golf Channel does not play golf.
No.
They do not show the golf, and like we were like everybody was getting pissed at the Ryder Cup about how they would not show the golf. They're all into commercials, they're all into talking, they're all into following one guy around. But because they have cameras like out there, but they just don't use them. And like it really upsets like everybody, and they just refuse to do anything about it. But that's a story.
Well, the Masters, I think, isn't the Masters the one where they have a camera on every single player and you can watch every shot? They have audio on it, like they're obviously not talking about it, but there's a cameraman following every single player, I believe.
Yeah, Masters does that, but that's its own. That's like
I know. I'm just saying, like these guys, like we can get that. I mean, we don't need everybody, but kind of like Noah saying, like you have the guys who use it. Like let's find different ways.
They have cameras out there though. They just refuse to use them. Obviously, they can show every spot on the course because they do at one point or another.
Yeah,
but they just
I don't like
refuse to use them.
I don't like the featured group stuff. That like it's nice, but like there's sometimes like early in the mornings, watching a featured group, like that's who you're wanting to watch. Is not as much golf on, like a lot of golf being played. But then like you're talking halfway through the first round or something, you got Spieth, Schauffele, and Sun JM or whatever, and that's all you get to watch.
I want to see the guys that are right at the cut line just grinding, trying to get in. I want to see dudes.
Well, that's what they say when you go to a tournament. They you see so many bad shots. They say.
I want to see dudes grinding.
That would be funny. Well, they is it that new Tiger and Rory indoor golf thing that starts here in January, I think.
Is it this month?
It's postponed until next year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they did postpone it.
Their building burnt down, or whatever.
Oh, it did.
Not burnt down. I think it collapsed. But yeah, that's
not
coming.
But they all use that whoop that you see them all wear, and they were gonna put up like their heart rate and everything while they're doing it.
That'd be so cool.
It'd be cool to just see that. Like, yeah, like they don't have to. They don't
seeing
have
like the difference in what that. Seeing like the difference in what that that chip in that JT Poston basically had, like seeing how much that is, seeing how much a 3-footer is on hole 16, 17, or 18 to be projected on what he's going to be at or whoever it is. Like that'd be so cool. That'd be so much fun. Seeing where that puts him in the FedEx Cup, seeing where that puts him on maybe getting into the major because he was almost in a top 5 or almost in a tie for top 10 or whatever it possibly could be. See where that helps him with anything. It'd be so cool. And I don't understand. There's so many missed opportunities on that.
Well, even Chris Kirk's 2-footer tap in to win the tournament. Like it's he's got
footers being missed. Talk about Jordan not being able to make standing over a 3-footer for 5 minutes just to bully it across the hole.
Going to that, how about Kevin Kisner there in the studio?
Yeah,
just talking like a dude. Like dude, I don't know if you guys heard what he said when Jordan missed that, but he's like Jordan, it's a 3-footer, tap it in, dude.
Yeah, just hit it.
Basically what he said. And
it's a 3-footer.
That's awesome. But no, Kiz will be good. I think
But Kiz is sick.
Retires, but yeah, Kiz is
he's
another point. I've met Kiz. He played at one of the courses I interned at. The week after the Open Championship, so that was fun. But no, Kiz is awesome.
I don't know, dude. I think Sam Burns is the dude that I want to hang out with. He's dope. He's a dude's
part of the
dude.
Bullet Bros.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love to hang out with Phil Mickelson.
With Sam Burns,
100%. Phil Mickelson.
He's a dude's dude. I mean, not saying Kiz isn't. Not saying any of those guys aren't. But like, I don't know. Like in the same sense of you do like the Ricky JT Jordan thing. I'd rather go drive a freaking ATV around and shoot stuff and whatever else than just continuously play golf.
Well, why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? The guy from Kansas,
Gary Woodland,
the one that took his shirt off and the Waste Management.
Oh, Harry Higgs.
Yeah, like that's the dude you want to hang
Yeah.
out with, right? That's
Just
the
a
guy
good-
you want to play golf. The
Just a
John
good
Daly
dude.
type. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to go hang out with the good kids, the ones that are just too goody two shoes or whatever. I'm gonna go see the guys, like you said, Blake. Well, on that topic, I got to show you this because we talked a little bit about Max Homa, and we're talking about basically their personalities. So this is what Max Homa had in response to his long drive. So for it being so for those of you that aren't looking and just listening, it says the Sentry with his 477-yard drive on the par 4 7th hole. Max Homa recorded the longest drive on the PGA Tour in the Shot-Link era. And Max Homa quoted the tweet and responded, "For it being uphill into the wind with no roll, I was pretty proud of this one." So that's the guy you want to hang out with.
He's another guy that's just
Yeah, Max is the best.
he's
Well,
sick.
that's what I was thinking though. On like with the Whoop, when we're talking about the heart rate, is imagine that putt that he made in the Ryder Cup to just keep it going on 18 there. That like 6-footer he made, like seeing his heart rate over that putt, and then you just get to see it spike, and like that would just be so cool.
I want to see like the differences because I know like we've all played in tournaments and like we're all nervous for that kind of stuff. But I want to see like I would love to see like the difference between Tiger Woods on like the 18th hole to win a golf tournament like right now like after all of his experience and then like a first time winner like trying to win on the 18th hole. Like I want to see the difference in that. Like
Oh, just in
that's
like
what I think would be cool.
yeah.
Like them too. Like what's Tiger's heart rate when he's winning a tournament right now, and what's a first time winner's heart rate? Because I think obviously
And then compare it to someone in the NCAA Final Four that has a free throw to go up one or to tie it, and see how it correlates to the difference in other sports. How much it'd actually be different, because none of those guys, like basketball, football, there's 10 others or 4 other guys on the court with you or on the field with you, where it's just you and your buddy carrying the sticks. Completely agree.
Did you guys ever watch that show? It used to be on, what was that on? But it used to be called, it was Sports Science.
Yeah, Sports Science. I loved that stuff.
Yeah, like bring some of that aspect into it. But what would be wild is like Chris Kirk is 2-footer. Like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be super crazy, but like imagine like this guy's got the putt to win the Masters. He's got 2-footer. He's got one, like he's making it, right? There's never really doubt he's making it. And you just get to see his heart rate like as he's putting it, and it's just wild. Like he's just had a normal resting heart rate. Wouldn't that just be crazy and just be
insane?
Like, oh, fuck, this guy's a 3-foot putt to win the Masters, and he's just could care less. Yeah, so 2024 season's now, completely started. We got done with first tournament. What tournaments are you guys looking forward to this year? Which guys you want to see? Like, what's kind of your preview on the 2024 season?
What do you think, Noah?
I mean, obviously, one of the biggest storylines is Tiger and how he's going to hold up. Basically saying he's going to play more of a schedule, but I mean, everybody's going to talk about that. But for me, I'm going to continue to monitor kind of the guys that were really good and then fell off, but then came back last year a little bit. And by those guys, I mean Jason Day, Ricky Fowler, and then a little bit of, who am I thinking of? I just had his name in my head. Ricky.
What do you think Ricky's going to do? I was a little disappointed this week, watching these guys just go after a course, and he's just
I don't know
he's
about
not there.
Ricky because after he had his hot month stretch and then he won, he kind of played really poorly towards the end of the season, and I was actually on the I don't want Ricky on the Ryder Cup team train. That a lot of people didn't talk about, but he just wasn't playing very, very well. And he hasn't really had a lot of success in that type of event in the past either.
There's a few iffy decisions with the Ryder Cup team, I think, though.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into that by any means, but that's why I'm gonna continue to monitor kind of those guys, because I mean those are being our generation. Those are kind of the guys like when we were like truly growing up, that were at the top of their game, you know.
Yeah.
But and then I mean you got to throw in Rory, chasing the major, the Grand Slam. I mean those are kind of the news every year as of right now for Rory. But I mean I guess the framework with the PGA and LIV, or PIF, I guess is technically who it is. But let's see if that gets done. And obviously you have Phil Mickelson saying all this stuff about that it will get done and what will happen afterwards. But so that'll be ongoing drama. Obviously you got Rory, who just kind of started taking things back that he said before. So that's an interesting little twist.
I don't know why he said that. He should just let it be, I guess.
Yeah. But no, I mean, and then I guess kind of those under the radar guys too. I don't know if you guys are huge fans of them, but guys like Sahith Theegala, who
sick.
like they're searching for kind of a breakout season where they're winning 3 or 4 times, or even just 2 or 3 times.
Kind of like Akshay Bhatia.
Yeah, he surprised me. He did really well. But like just the parity that we see in golf right now. Obviously, you have guys like Scotty and all those guys were at the top after round 2, and then they kind of were nowhere to be found this weekend. Which is, I mean, they were obviously there. It was a stacked leaderboard, but like they weren't that far out of it. But you had guys like Chris Kirk and Bhatia and a couple other guys who led it for most of the weekend. But that's just kind of where I'm at on it. There's a lot of different storylines that will be interesting to monitor.
Would you guys rather see one guy dominate the sport like Tiger did in the early 2000s, or would you rather see a bunch of guys any given Sunday? You don't know who's winning.
Depends who's standing out. I mean, I don't know.
Depends on who the player is.
Yeah, I mean, I fully liked when Scotty was going crazy. Like that was so much fun to me. It was unorthodox. Like dude just hit the center of the face. Never brought it back the same. Never like just always different. And like that's cool to me to see someone like that just top 5, top 3, like win. And
yeah, I think he's
sick. I think it's
20 out of his last 25. He's gotten the top 10.
Yeah, I don't know the stat for it, but I think it's different now with the whole live thing and seeing all them big names over there. But I like seeing someone run away with everything. But then again, I always root for an underdog too. So
there's some intriguing storylines both ways, I think. I mean, you have guys that are truly dominating, and that's fun to watch. And then you have guys who kind of the parity, like you have a bunch of guys who have a couple wins on tour, and they're always up at the top of the leaderboard, finally cracking through. So that's kind of fun too. And then I always love drama at majors too.
Drama's fun.
For those live guys, especially more than just personal drama than golf.
I mean, I am fast forward into the end of the year. I'm curious to see what that number of majors is from the live guys.
What was it last year?
1.
Brooks. Just
Brooks
won, right?
It was just Brooks.
But Brooks was up there in most of them, or at least.
Yeah, I mean, he was
most of the top 5 of the Masters was live guys.
Yeah, Phil made that crazy comeback.
Second.
Yeah. So
does Rory get either a major win, or does he get the Grand Slam? Is a Masters a tournament he can win this year?
I don't think he gets a major.
He can't putt. He can't.
I don't know.
Unless he does.
I think that would be a cool storyline to see is him complete the Grand Slam. I like Rory. He kind of seems like American, kind of international American guy. Like
I don't like his comments. I don't know. And like the whole thing he did last year too, when he just kind of ghosted everything. I just didn't.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to stick to golf. I mean, some people like LeBron James, but then the minute LeBron James started talking about politics, he just turned a lot of people away. So you gotta kind of stay in your lane, I guess. And Rory's probably stepped out of it a little bit, which he mentioned when he was talking about basically recanting his statement, saying, I used to think at it one way, and now I got to think about it a little different. So, but all right. So if you had to pick right now, and it can be pretty easy, but we're January 7th right now, as we're filming this, and we can look back and see if we're right. So if you had to pick who your FedEx Cup champion at the end of the year would be, who would it be?
That's so. I could see Brian Harmon doing it.
Okay, that's
So is that who you want though?
Call.
I mean,
I'm gonna say who I want, not who I think.
Okay.
All right, give your who you think's gonna win, and then who you want, or who do you think's a sleeper?
Okay, so I think Brian Harmon's a sleeper for sure. The dude can putt. It's gonna keep him in every single tournament he plays in. He's that guy with the flat stick. I don't know. Xander's hard to go against. That's probably my favorite to win. Who I'd like to win against Sam Burns. I love that dude.
No, who you got? Who do you want? Who's your sleeper?
I think the guy I want to win, and I've never really been honestly a giant fan of him, but like I haven't not liked him either. But the guy I want to win this year is Justin Thomas, because I want to see a bounce back season from him.
True.
I like his game, and I like all the things that he's about. He's another guy that I would like to hang out with, but I've became more of a Justin Thomas fan, especially through his struggles and all the things that he says and does. And so I like he's who I want to win. Who I probably think will win. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Rory. I want to say, like, obviously I want to say Scotty, but that's too easy, as you all know. I'll pick the number one player in the world, whatever. But I think Rory, if he truly does, like obviously he went back on his thing. If he kind of puts that to bed and doesn't talk about it as much this year and focuses on the golf, he's obviously one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. So,
I mean, he's putting better than he.
Yeah.
I got a little struggle towards the end of the year, but
I think he could win it. But those are my two guys. How about you, Brendan?
My want is obviously Tiger. Tiger. Let's just go win every tournament this year. Big Tiger guy. Not gonna happen. So whatever. I would like to see somebody like Max Homa win it. A guy like that. We're just good guys. My sleeper though, and I've kind of mentioned him already, is Akshay. And Akshay or Sahith, like those guys. I mean,
is Sahith a sleeper anymore though?
No, probably not. But Akshay's
he's a
not
sleeper
really
though. I mean, to win the FedEx Cup.
Brian Harmon's really not either. He's got a major on him.
No, so I think you guys are looking at it all wrong. They're definitely sleepers because those guys are competing against 50 other guys who are probably better than them.
Yeah, they're not going to be the top 10 on your odds list or whatever. But,
so I think you're right to assess them as sleepers.
All right, well let's switch it up a little bit. Kind of start wrapping up what we got. Let's switch over some college basketball. The question is, this last week we've seen two different teams. But the question is, and we're all Nebraska fans, but is Nebraska good? What do you guys think? We just beat Indiana and we just got, shit on by Wisconsin. So are we good?
Oh, I think we're good. I mean, who was it? Was it Minnesota that had the big comeback against us, which really sucks.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we were up 15.
And I mean, our losses are bad. Our losses are bad, but we've had some very
Score-wise, they're bad.
Yeah,
they're not the bad teams. But
We have one bad team that we lost to.
Minnesota.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, but it's looking better a little bit. But
that was a bad loss.
They're still bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think
we've only played one game that's been decided by 10 points or less. I think that was the Michigan State game. We won by 7.
I mean, I could look it up, but I don't know. I'm pretty confident in the team. I mean, I think we should make the tournament. And I'd just like us to see get to the next round. I don't care.
Just win the game. I mean, are we the only team left?
Only Power 5 school that's never done it. I don't care if it's an 11 seed win in game. I don't care. I want to see it.
I do care though. That's not a win.
Yeah, those don't count.
I don't care.
But I don't know. I think we'll be all right. I think we got a little rough patch headed our way. We just have to recover from that. I think our threshold's 20 wins, right? I mean, we got screwed over it a couple years ago, but hardly ever does a Power 5, I guess Power 6 in basketball, get left out come, March time if you got 20 wins. So I think that's kind of our number. The only thing is I don't want against us to be we can't win against good teams, and we've shown that, we've played some okay teams, some good average teams, a little above average teams, but those good teams, those Wisconsins, those Purdue's, like Creighton even, we're not competitive so far. So we need to show that we're either competitive or we can beat those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in that same boat. Like, I'm on record so far this year saying we are a good team and that I do think we're a tournament team this year. But it upsets me when, like, more than you can believe, when I see games like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like,
in that game,
so good against Indiana, and obviously Wisconsin probably played their best game of the year. They're on a roll right now. They're scoring way more than they usually do. This is Greg Gard's best offensive team since he's been there. But if you're a good team, you can't lose to Creighton by 30 and Wisconsin by
20.
You can't do that. Like quit being good at home and then just looking like you can't play basketball on the road. Like,
well, Creighton was at home.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like it's just kind of.
I mean, hopefully we'll get it changed. But you look at that Wisconsin game, and I mean, I was watching it, but I got a little distracted. I was doing some New Year's pictures for Colson. He turned 7 months today, so we did some pictures for that during the game. So I wasn't really fully watching the whole thing. But you look at those stats, and those stats, we offensively played pretty well. And Wisconsin just couldn't miss. And watching the game, I didn't think we had terrible defense. But I mean, they hit some contested shots, and when they did miss, unfortunately, it seemed like they got the rebound. But
yeah, I mean,
I feel like if you were to look at those stats, then it wasn't a 20-point win for the other team. It looked like it was pretty even. But.
No, I mean, that's the whole thing, though. Like, I mean, you tell me that we scored 70 points at Wisconsin, I would say we're either going to win or it's going to be really close.
Yeah,
I would say we're going to win, honestly. But like, that's where this team in particular, obviously, when they don't make any threes, they're going to struggle. But that's kind of a moot point this year with them. I think they're a lot better at consistently shooting. But that defense is still – obviously, Fred Hoiberg, and it upsets me a lot, has his defensive philosophy where this year especially, like, we're going to double every time, no matter what post it is. If they're not even a good post, we're still going to double. And this year, which is new, which I'm confused about, but they're giving up baseline. And they're
I saw that it was Wisconsin. It was pissing me off.
They're expecting help. And You can't.
But they're
do
not
that
just
against
giving
good teams.
baseline; they're giving the basket too. These guys are
They're totally opening their hips and
throwing.
just forcing them into
Yeah.
a double team. Which why are you doubling so much when, especially when the other team can't miss from three? Because you're just forcing yourself into rotations and you're forcing yourself into just giving up wide open threes.
Well, Wisconsin, that was the first game back that was Matt's first game after his surgery too, wasn't
No,
it?
he played at Indiana.
Oh, it was Indiana. Yeah, that's right.
But it'll be fine. We got Purdue coming up. We'll see how that game goes, but we'll have plenty of time to discuss Nebraska. Hopefully, come March we're discussing them in the tournament, and maybe it is that 11 seed playing game that Blake will get. So quickly, what we'll do is we'll do a little conference outlook. I have a list here of our Power Six, like I said, in basketball. So you got the Big East thrown in there. I'm gonna run through just kind of who's in the lead right now for their conference, and you guys just kind of quickly let me know if you think they're gonna be on top. Come towards the end. So let's go ahead and start with the ACC. Noah, you're a UNC Tar Heel fan. We got them, Wake Forest, and NC State, all 11-3, all 3-0 in conference play. Do you see one of these teams maintaining and kind of both of you guys winning towards the end of the year, or does somebody else, like a Duke or Miami, even, come back and win?
There's a couple other teams like Duke that can come back, but as of right now, North Carolina is the best team in the ACC.
It's biased.
It is. No, it is. But they look the best team in the ACC.
They do look good. They're playing as a team.
I'm trying to be not biased right now, but I mean Duke.
The only thing
with Notre Dame, who's the worst team in the ACC.
Yeah, the only thing was that bad last year really was just not being able to knock down the three consistently. And, I think they got that fixed a little bit. Blake, what do you think?
They had a bunch of issues last year.
I haven't seen a bunch of ACC basketball yet, so I do like Wake Forest. So
I haven't seen
Alex, Nebraska kid, leading scorer.
Yeah. He can score the ball. NC State that's one of those teams. It's super surprising, I think, but I don't know. It's just not. They're good. They're a good defensive team too, if I'm remembering right.
All right, so moving on, we have the Big Ten, our Nebraska Cornhuskers Conference. Right now, Wisconsin's the only undefeated team in the Big Ten conference play-wise. Following them, you got Purdue, Minnesota, Indiana, and Illinois. All have one loss. So
who is Purdue's loss?
The Big Ten.
Northwestern.
Purdue lost to Northwestern.
Oh yeah,
they lost
2 years in a row.
So,
but
I don't know.
I've always put the fraud flag on Purdue, but man, they had a real scrappy win the other night that kind of blew my mind.
Well, Purdue was up big on Illinois, and I thought they were going to run away. Then that game got close. I mean, they were up 20. I think at one point it was 3 points with 6 seconds left. After that big guy, I can't remember his name for Illinois, that hit that step back three. But Noah and I talked about this a little bit in one of our group chats. I think we both agree that Purdue's beatable. Zach Edey's going to go get his, and it's who else is beating you. So, and their problems come March. They still have to get over that hump. So, I don't like Purdue in the Big Ten. If I had to pick one right now, I think it's Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin wins it all, unless somebody goes on a crazy run. I don't trust Minnesota. They're getting some wins to help us not have a terrible loss, but they're not gonna maintain. Obviously, I don't think. And Indiana, I'm shocked they're where they're at now. I think they're an average team at best. In Illinois with Terrence Shannon, they're just such a wild card right now.
Illinois is good.
But Terrence Shannon being out.
With Terrence Shannon out the whole year, they're going to they haven't looked as bad without him as people thought. So I think they could still contend. But
was it Damask or something like that? It's pretty good for him.
Yeah, he's a transfer. And I'm going to disagree with Brendan, though. Nobody's going to touch Purdue in the Big Ten this year.
I don't see. I see
Wisconsin and Illinois are right there. But like obviously Purdue can be beat like we talked about, but Purdue's going to win the Big Ten, and it's not going to be particularly close, I don't think.
Yeah, I just hopefully come. Was it Wednesday? Was that when
Tuesday.
we play them? Or was it
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Come Tuesday. I mean, like I said, Edie's going to get his, but if I got to watch Fletcher Loy or was it Smith or whoever their white guard is, but if Fletcher Loy goes off for 25, I'm going to be pissed.
Fletcher Loy who beat us last year. We took him to overtime, and he's really the guy who put him over the hump.
Yeah, so I think you just got to Edie's going to get his, and hopefully you don't get beat by the refs. Anyway, moving on to the Big East. We have all of these teams all these teams are 3-0 or 3-1 in their Big East play. You got Seton Hall and Villanova. You got St. John's, and you got UConn. UConn's 13-2 on the year. St. John's 11-4, and then Seton Hall and Villanova at 10-5. I think for me, I don't think UConn's not winning conference. I think they're the clear-cut favorite there.
Yeah. UConn is the best team in the Big East.
St. John's is good.
They had a couple struggle games. Seton Hall, actually, if you look at it, they're
trending.
They beat Marquette, UConn. Like, they beat the best teams in the SEC or the Big East to start the season, but they were all at home. And,
as long as Creighton isn't winning, I'm fine.
Yeah, 100%. But
I don't think they're winning it.
UConn will win the Big East.
I mean, both their wins against Providence and Marquette are really close wins. That St. John's game that they have on the 16th is going to be really, really good, I think.
Who's playing St. John's then?
Seton Hall, St. John's. That's going to be a really good game. St. John's, I think, is legit. I mean, you got Patino back there now. I always liked him at Louisville, so maybe that's biased, but
no, they're definitely getting better. But I still think St. John's is going to be one of those teams that's really good at home. But I think if they played UConn at home, they could keep it close, maybe win. Yeah. But if they play UConn on the road, they're going to get beat by 15-20.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel.
All right, so these next two conferences, I believe they've only played really one game. So it's obviously wide open. There's some clear cuts favorites, but we'll start with the Big 12. Right now, your top four. You got Houston, KU, OU, and then BYU. I don't know. Are they legit? They're good. They just lost.
BYU just lost to. Who was it they lost to? I forget who they lost to, but they just lost. But no, I think
those are kind of your top four.
Yeah, the Big 12 is the best conference right now.
Has to be.
I think they're the best. They have been. I mean, yeah, they're the best conference. But I think you could see somebody come from a couple of places back in that conference and win it. But as far as I'm concerned, looks like the best teams. You got Houston and Kansas.
Yeah, I think
two teams that will be battling it out.
I think it's a toss-up as far as I can see KU winning it, and I can see Houston winning it. I think those are the top two too. KU has that regular season, or like they have the Big 12 streak, don't they? And
KU does.
I think this is the first. Is it the first year, right, that Houston's in the conference?
Yeah.
So it'd be curious to see if that streak ends, because I do think Houston is a very, very good team. Ken Palm has them at 1. And they offensive efficiency is adjusted offense is 10, and defense wise is number 1. So I think if you go by the defense wins championships, that's your team.
I mean, their closest win is 4 points to Texas A&M. Other than that, nothing. Xavier 6 points, 66-60. Really, everything else of that is very dominant. They beat West Virginia 89-55. That's
West Virginia is terrible.
Yeah, I think Big 12 conference play, can beat up on teams.
I will say though,
you can
watch
see some
out
games
for
lost.
Watch out. I haven't seen him play a lot, but watch out for TCU. They just
Yeah,
went
they played
into
KU tough.
they just went into Allen Fieldhouse, and they would have won if the refs didn't bail Kansas out with the inadvertent elbow. I'm just saying. No, I mean I watched that, and I'm not a KU hater by any
2-point
means.
game. Yeah,
But they were up with the ball, and instead a bad ref call made it tied in Kansas's ball. Kansas was going to lose that game if it wasn't for the refs. But no,
Kansas is
was
also
good.
going to get to it. I wouldn't say that TCU's a blue blood in the Big 12, but I mean they've been there. They've been there for 5-6 years now. Has it been? Where
they've been there for a while.
They've got to be sick of KU in every matter of basketball. Period. They're going to bring what they can bring. So.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Big 12 play, they beat up on each other, so it's really a toss-up. Like, it could come down to, one game and tiebreaker type scenario. So I can't count KU out, but I think KU snuck by. I don't think they're that good this year. I mean, they're good, but they've snuck by a little bit where I could see them losing a couple games, down the way that they might not have or not should have lost. So, but we'll see. Yeah. Next up, SEC. Like I said, all played about one game. Pretty wide open. Sleeper team. I didn't really pay attention to until looking at this. South Carolina, 13-1. So you got South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. Those are your kind of top four. And yeah, I didn't.
Tennessee's good.
Attention to South Carolina.
Tennessee had a really tough stretch like a week ago.
Well,
and
weren't they in the Maui?
They were close games. Yeah, because that was. I mean, I can look it up. Those were close games.
Tennessee had a tough stretch there. But North Carolina, I'm just saying, like a little wink, action there. But but no,
such a high scoring game.
But no, I'm taking Tennessee to win the SEC this year.
I liked Auburn. I don't think they're going to win it all, but they just crapped on Arkansas.
Yeah, that was a good win.
Yeah, but I'd say I would go with Kentucky on that one. I like Tennessee. They're pretty old, if I remember correctly, and they just kind of all around pretty good. So I could see Tennessee winning that as well. Pac-12, you got two teams tied for it right now. You got Oregon and Arizona State are both undefeated, 4-0 in conference play, and then you got Arizona 3-1 in conference play. Arizona's probably clear-cut favorite, but obviously
that's back-to-back. That's back-to-back years of loss to Stanford, isn't it? Arizona has. Sure. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Stanford just beat somebody else, I think, too. But
who's a sleeper team though? Yeah. I mean, they can't win. They won't win it. But Utah is a lot better this year than they have been in the past.
Yes. Do they still have the two big guys that are like 7 foot?
Not sure, to be honest.
I think
but you know who Washington has. Washington is better than they have been, and Wilhelm Breidbach plays for Washington.
Yeah, Wilhelm's there.
Shout out Wilhelm. He's actually been playing kind of well lately. So
he's so goofy.
We'll give some love to that goofy.
He's a freaking. He runs like a wounded gazelle. That man is.
Somebody needed to cut that guy's hair once and show him you do not have to look that ugly.
The thing is he can't look in the mirror to see it. So
yeah, without his rec specs. So yeah, I mean that's kind of all the Power 6 teams there, and we'll touch on it a little more throughout these other podcast episodes. So quickly, just wrap up the episode here with. I just want to mention a little stat, a little shout out, I guess. He's never going to hear me shout him out, but Jersey Jerry with the hole-in-one. How about that? That was pretty impressive. So that was total out 37 hours and 2,627 shots. I did some math on that, and obviously, a round of golf, you're only hitting 4 par 3s probably, on average. So I took that number divided by 4, and that was the equivalent of basically shots you'd hit on a par 3s, 657 rounds of golf. So you'd have to play in 18 holes, 657 times to hit that many shots on par 3s. So yeah, I just going to ask you guys point blank, we don't need to get into it. 2 questions. Would you beat that time and those shots? And does it count as a hole-in-one?
I don't think it counts.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think it counts at all. Beating the time, I mean, yeah. I think you have to say yeah. But the other thing is he took a bunch of breaks. He had a bunch of people that also hit. I mean, and they constantly had to go and click mulligan. So, but yeah, it's.
Are you beating the 2,600 shots?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Noah, does it count? Will you beat it?
No, it doesn't count. I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna beat it. Only because I got my first hole-in-one last year, so I know it can be done now. For a long time, I didn't think you could ever make a hole-in-one, but
Well, I'm gonna say also it does not count, and I want to say I could beat it because I'm a better golfer, but I'm pretty sure I've probably played 657 rounds of golf in my life, and I not have one. So,
how many of those holes are par? How many holes of those are actually obtainable hole-in-one opportunities?
I don't know. Like I said, 657 rounds of golf. That's 4 par threes and 18 holes. So that's how you get those shots. All right, wrap it up here quick. We're gonna go through New Year. Like I said, it's January 7th. Now that we're filming, why don't you guys just each go in and tell me your New Year's resolution for your golf game?
I mean, last year I struggled pretty bad off the tee. So kind of goal is to just more fairways. I think I was only like, I don't know, maybe upper 20s on fairway percentage through the whole year, which is horrible. I mean, there are some times where I was hitting fairways, but ended the year at a 3 or just below a 4. So the goal is to just kind of keep bettering myself and get my gen down more. Try to get to a 2.5 this year. Hopefully a 2. If anything, 0. That'd be the biggest goal. But just keep improving. Low round last year was 71 per 18. So goal is to improve on that as well and going to 2025 with another new low to shoot for. So
Nice. Noah, what you got?
I think he took a page out of my playbook because I've also been terrible off the tee forever, and it's by far the worst part of my game. I would say they say PGA Tour players hit about 70% of their fairways. Amateurs are good amateurs are about 50%. And I would say I'm probably like 25%, 30% maybe. So I'm looking to get towards that 50%. That's all I want. Anything honestly, to start with this year, 40 to 50% fairways hit off the tee is kind of my goal. But that's my resolution.
Yeah, for myself, I guess mine would be I want to play more tournaments this year. I want to play in my U.S. Open qualifier this year, in the Nebraska Open this year. I didn't get to play in those last year. Having a kid, right in June, it just kind of doesn't allow for that. So, yeah, just kind of playing those tournaments and be competitive in those. Obviously, I don't need to qualify for the U.S. Open. I don't need to win the Nebraska Open. I just want to be competitive. So get to that point. I want to learn how to be under par a little bit better. I've had a couple times this year, 4 or 5 under, 6 under, 7 under. The couple I hit, through 15 holes, and kind of turned them into 3 unders or 4 unders. Just kind of learn to be under par and be okay with being under par and not shit the bed towards the end because you've never been there before. Yeah, I think my low round this year was 67, I think. So hopefully if I just shoot a couple more of those, I don't know if I can shoot lower than that, I'd be pretty happy with it, but just kind of see that number a little more often. So yeah, that's kind of it for me. We'll see how the new year goes, and hopefully, us 3 will be able to play some golf a little bit, whether it's with each other not, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about all that. So, all right, guys, I think that was a great first episode. We'll catch everybody else on the flip side. So we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
Later, guys.